and girls, we're back. King Panda TV, King Panda Talks. This is our, di ko na alam anong episode, pero today may sponsor tayo. Finally, for the first time, merong sponsor. But, you know, the reason why we do these talks is to educate people. And I think that's one of the biggest missing pieces in our nation, and especially in our generation. So, today we have the special opportunity to have as a guest one of the people I've always looked up to when he was in office. And it turns out to be that we come from the same school. Kaya pala pareho kaming gwapo. Mas gwapo si Sed, pero ako medyo sa tabi lang ng konti. And we also played football. You also played football, right?
Yes, a little football.
There's no Bosconian that never played football. Meron volleyball, pero that's a different conversation, right? So today we have in our midst one of our hardest working former senators and now running for Senate again, Senator Greg Honasan.
Ako, King Panda, Hans, thank you so much for having
You're
this
welcome.
opportunity.
You're welcome, Sen. You're welcome. So how has it been going, at this stage in your life na you should be relaxing? You should be...
Exactly. Mukhang tayong mga Bosconian, Hans, no? King Panda, we are on the same wavelength. No? People ask me that, exactly. After 17 years as a soldier, 7 years as a rebel, 21 years as a senator, and modesty aside, the first truly independent senator in Philippine political history. No? I'm very proud of that. No? And then 2.5 years as secretary. People ask me, what do you want to do now? Parang naka-boundary ka na. No? Sabi ko, personally, gusto ko na umuwi. I have 5 grandchildren.
Yes.
5 children. But how can I go home naman, just like you, Hans, no? If some are left behind, hindi tayo nang-iwan. I'm just giving life to what government and other sectors keep on saying. Inclusive growth. Dapat sabay-sabay tayong umaangat, no? Address the real problems. But I'm going overboard.
No.
Now, that's what I've been doing, no? I cannot naman, my contemporaries, my classmates in the Military Academy are now busy playing golf. Doing something else, no? But sabi ko, I don't know, maybe I'm wired for something. Tayong mga Bosconian, no? We have to be involved in issues that are bigger than ourselves and all of us combined.
Because people usually ask, why would you go back into something na alam mong sasakit ang ulo mo?
Unfinished business.
Unfinished business.
Now, I'm not doing this for altruistic reason, no? I'm doing this for my children and grandchildren and
For
the
the
grandchildren and children of other Filipinos who do not have the same access to opportunities, no? Unfinished business. But maybe I can describe that later
Yeah.
on. If they ask me, what's your platform? My platform before, now, and in the future will be security. Seguridad, no? Sigurado sana na makakain ng 3 beses yung bawat pamilya. Food, basic needs, shelter, pabahay, education, public health, and now the new gold, the new oil, information. Hindi ito pabilisan pagkalat ng
Fake
impormasyon, ng fake news. Pabilisan ito pagkalat ng katotohanan.
Yes.
Complete, timely, and accurate information so that on a personal level, family level, and public or private sector, you can make informed, rational, intelligent, long-term decisions. Yes.
Alam niyo guys, it's the same in cars, That's why we do these reviews of cars. It's not to sell you guys cars, it's to educate you of what's out there and give you the knowledge and the bullets to make that informed decision. The same way, said. But, before we go into the issues,
if I may interrupt,
Sure.
I just wanted to confirm an information that some of our friends in the marketing business are. Is it true that we are selling 1,000 cars a day in Metro Manila?
Roughly.
Okay. Now, I brought that up.
Guilty as charged.
No.
Nagtatraffic
Hindi yan, no? Our population, from information, doubles every 30 years.
Yes.
Noong 1986, 55 million lang tayo.
Yes.
Ngayon, di ba? 120 million.
120.
So, dapat naman sana, di ba? Nilaparan yung kalsada, dinagdagan yung mass transport, government services, food, health service, di ba? If we were planning ahead, that's serious nation building.
No, it's Pero before we go into that, So you said you have 5 grandchildren.
Yes.
How many kids?
Yeah, 5 kids, 5 grandchildren. So let me talk about my wife, who's a strong woman, no?
Yes.
Maybe just like Gina.
Behind every man, successful man, is a stronger woman.
Yes, okay. So her world revolves around 15 people. 5 children, 2 sons-in-law, 3 daughters-in-law, 5 grandchildren, that's 15 people. Pag umuwi ako ng maaga, 16.
What's the regular day of Senator Gringo Honasan?
Wake up at 5, start working from home, communicating, no? Nung sundalo ako, Hans, no? Ang operational readiness criteria para sundalo, police, basta may armas ka, legally authorized armed group is you must be able to move, communicate, and shoot. Huwag muna natin pag-usapan yung shoot, baka bumaba yung rating mo.
No, we actually review
move and
guns.
communicate na muna.
We actually review guns. So pag-uusapan natin yung mga
pag-uusapan din natin, no? Pero hindi na ako current, ha? I was rehabilitated by God. I dreamed also before, no, of becoming a general, no, retired to some farm in my home province, no. But I guess God wanted to punish me for my sins. I have the distinction of being dishonorably discharged from the service. I never made general, no. And if that were not enough, He punished me some more by making me a senator for 21 years.
God works in mysterious ways.
Yes. And now, back to your question, why would I want to go back to, well,
It's
yeah, God works in mysterious
Mysterious ways.
In life struggles, di ba? Including elections, no? Victory is in God's hands.
Tama.
But cheating is man's work.
Sabi nga ng isang friend ko, there's so many ways to skin a cat. But at the end, the cat dies.
Yeah.
But so, you wake up at 5, you start
Yeah.
working,
Yes,
emails, telepono.
Ganun.
Right now, it's campaign season. So
Yes,
talagang fully booked si Sen. Ano? That's why we're...
Well, but technology has allowed us to do things faster in a more precise manner, no? So may multiplier. So I don't the traditional motorcade, palengke tour is
Wala
still
na
there.
yan.
Yeah, it's still there.
Nandun pa ba?
It's,
Nandun pa ba?
Value added, but now it's social media. Diba? Multimedia.
Iba na.
The name of the game is attention. Yeah? You
And
have
it's
to
fast attention.
You have to fit into that 6 to 15 second
Yes.
window,
Yes.
no? With a soundbite. Well, unless you don't catch their attention, they shift to another platform.
Let's talk about yung family life. Right now, you have the grandkids.
Yeah.
Sabi nga ng dad ko, the job of a father is to discipline the kids. The job of the lolo is to spoil the grandkids. Totoo ba yun?
Totoo yun. You have the joy, no? I mean, the joy. I mean, there's nothing. You'll experience it one of these days in the future, no?
How old are your grandkids?
My eldest is 16.
Wow.
Granddaughter.
Granddaughter.
And then,
Nako, bantay sarado kay Sen yun.
and then lalaki. Tapos, granddaughter ulit. So,
Granddaughter.
bookends, no?
Okay.
But, by maternal edict, my wife said to my children, no? Teka muna, kahit na sige, pursue it. Any career, any calling, any vocation. Pero hindi pwedeng magsundalo at hindi pwedeng magpolitiko. Why? Obviously, pag nagsundalo, gagrawit sa Military Academy, magre-rebelde, makukulong, magtatago, magiging fugitive, no? Yeah.
Magiging senator.
Maging senador, which jumps into politics. Senador, ibang klase naman yan, di ba?
Yes,
So
yes.
sabi niya, wag. So our children are musicians and artists. We want live music. We gather them and their friends. We have live music for about 2 hours.
Wow.
And the grandchildren have
Also play.
also play. Keyboards, vocals. My wife and I see 4 or 5 grandchildren almost every day. Some even sleep with us.
Wow.
The other one is in Siargao. No? A boy ito, pero looks like a girl. Dahil hindi pinagugupitan eh.
Surfer.
Exactly.
Surfer.
Beach bum. Tan.
Tan.
Pero sings also while surfing.
So may music inclination
Yeah,
talaga.
not because of me. Obviously, I have no other talent except trying to overthrow governments. They took after the wife.
So with you and your wife, when ngayon pupunta tayo doon sa mga interesting parts, How did you and your wife meet?
Nako, interesting yan. Nasa Special Forces ako. Okay? New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve, 1970. So, yung commanding general, nagpa-party, inimbita yung mga tiga Red Cross. Yung wife ko was from the Red Cross. She's a medical technologist by training.
Wow.
And an interior designer by...
How diverse.
Okay. Anyway, alam mo, Red Cross, di ba? Hingi ng dugo. para sa akin, love at first sight. Binigay ko lang, hindi lang dugo.
Naubusan ka ng dugo?
Hindi na, pati bulalo, mga ano na. Lahat na, di ba? So,
ang dami mo palang dinonate. You're a very charitable person lang.
yes, exactly. And then she left for Canada for 1 year. And then I went to combat duty.
Yes.
And then I got hit, no? First time I got hit by a bullet, obviously, no? In combat, no? In Mindanao. So I was recuperating. She came back. Now, let me say this also for the record, no? She came back not because of her love for me only, no? She wanted to check on the parts that were affected by that bullet wound. If we could still have children, and that would be...
You were LDR, long distance relationship?
Yes, that was our proving grounds yun, no?
Boss, wala pang text doon, wala pang...
Wala. At saka ang mahal nun ng long distance.
Yeah.
Diba? Grabe yun.
Paano? Sulat?
Hindi. Telepono. I was calling her from some godforsaken mountain in the Sierra Madres. Of course, I have to talk about that also, no? Where we were in the mountains with a specific mission, no? I was calling her. Very expensive. Ubos yung salary ko.
Oh my God.
Magkano yung salary ko nun? Mga 320 pesos a month. Plus combat pay siguro. Abot na rin ng mga 500. Ubos yun. Sa katawag lang.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Interesting.
Interesting question. Ano pinag-uusapan nyo? Say, Kani, tinamaan ako kanina ng bala.
Siyempre, usual, di ba? Siguro mga 90%, puro I love you yun, di ba? Both sides. That's the beauty ng KDR, di ba?
Yes,
LDR pala.
So she came back?
Yeah, came back. We got married.
Hindi na...
Okay,
yun na
got married.
yun. Okay.
December, balik siya. Tinamaan yata ako June eh. So, balik siya. Tapos sabi ko, huwag ka na bumalik dahil after our wedding, the day after, balik na ako sa Hulo.
Oh my God, iniwanan mo na.
She never forgave me for that, but obviously the result was 5 children and 1 miscarriage. I mean, makapangasawa ka na katulad ko pag hindi naman, di ba? Nagka-miscarriage ka.
Wow, stress.
Stress, exactly.
Stress.
But tough woman.
Yeah.
Tough. They all are. Yeah.
My gosh. So how long have you been married?
51 years.
51 years.
Yeah, 51 years.
Wow.
Which is, she should be given the Medal for Valor.
Valor? Hindi ikaw, sir.
Hindi ako.
Wow. And she's so... Ngayon, busy siya with the grandkids.
Ay, nako. As you said, di ba? Yung job ng tatay at nanay, ng daddy at mommy, no? Is to take care of them, provide for their needs. The job of grandparents is to spoil them. But my wife does not spoil grandkids. She's
disciplinarian siya.
Disciplinarian, no?
Wow.
Yeah.
So baka ikaw pa yung nag-spoil.
Ako.
Ikaw yung nag-spoil. Patago.
Diba? Junk food.
Laruan.
Laruan. In fact, pag umuwi ako, madaling araw, no? Yung tira-tira nila. That's why I've gained some weight, no? Dahil yung tira nilang junk food, chips. Yun ang habang nanonood ng Netflix.
No. Kasama sila.
Hindi. Tulog na sila. Ako umuubos. Ang tira-tira nila.
So, after when you were in service, which is a couple of my friends actually said, tanong mo naman kay Sen yung experience niya throughout the revolution. Yun. Declassified na lahat, no?
Oo naman.
Okay na, pwede na pag-usapan,
Yes, but again, Hans, no? Itong history natin has to be written accurately.
Yes.
Without
Kasi
any political...
ang
daming version. Yung nananalo, yun ang sumusulat, di ba?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Sabi nga namin, the best person to ask is you because you were in the middle of it.
Yeah, but you're part of it lang, di ba? It was people power.
Yes.
I'm so happy that you asked that question because people think, that people went there against this or that, di ba? It was not. First 2 days, well, I can say this with some authority because I was there.
You were there.
I was there, okay. First few days, people went there with their families and children for something, not against something, for good government, for change. Not overnight reforms, no? But to me, we commemorated it a few weeks ago,
Yes,
February, no? Probably 22 to 25. I think it has become a
Political platform.
yes.
Sad to say.
Not to unite our people in spirit, no? But to divide our people more. Kanya-kanyang version, no? So people went there for something. In fact, well, we can talk about how the reform movement was born, no? So people went there. Nung pangatlong araw, the third day, then those who were, marching in the streets, they were driven by certain ideologies and political objectives, started going there. Doon naglabasan yung mga ibang kulay ng manners, no? But people went there for good government and reform, not against something.
Actually, one of our very, very good family friends, na very good friend ng dad ko, family friend, si Tito Bong Geronimo. Kasama niyo at that time.
Yes, yes.
There's actually, here we will show in this inset a very, very popular picture. Yung nasa EDSA kayo. Tapos you're right beside JPE and FDR. Ikaw nandito sa likod. Si Tito Bong nandito. It was probably one of the best photos that I've seen.
Parang iconic, ano?
Iconic yun eh. Black and white siya.
Yes.
And actually, he has a copy at his house. And, but how did it... the whole question that one of my friends asked is, we were alive at that time, obviously, mga high school kami noon. How did it all start? I mean, what was it, the chicken or the egg? I mean, what... Until today, that's the mystery eh.
Okay. To me, Hans, when I am asked who was our best president, and I'm not saying this, I'm putting this on record, not because of any administration, no? I'm not doing this to ingratiate myself, no?
It's an objective answer.
Yes. So I say that our best president was President Ferdinand Marcos Sr. before he had health issues and nobody knew. That's also the time when the reform movement was born. The reform movement, in fact, reform is an acronym for restore ethics, fair-mindedness, order, righteousness, and moral. Why?
So, may ibig sabihin pala yun.
May ibig sabihin yun, yung reform.
Grabe.
Paano nangyari yun? No? Nasa field kami, combat.
Yes.
Siyempre, nasa harap mo, rebelde o criminal claiming to have some ideology. No? Okay lang na masaktan, Hans, yung sundalo, mamatay. I can say that with some authority because I went through it. Ganon din yung rebelde.
And you were actually injured.
Yeah, injured. Di ba? Okay. Granted, don't ask me to take off my pants. It's going to be embarrassing for your show. No?
Plus, we will be demonetized.
Yeah, of course. Bababa rin, di ba?
Sa Sa OnlyFans. Pwede.
Okay lang
Pwede
yun.
natin lagay sa OnlyFans.
Okay lang, di ba, na masaktan. Pumasok ka, nagsundalo ka, nagrebelde ka, di ba?
Yes.
Kasama sa job description. Ang hindi unacceptable, para sa amin, morally unacceptable, is when innocent civilians, men, women, children, young, old, were caught in a crossfire of an armed conflict they did not invent. Wasak yung bahay. Sira yung ari-arihan. Pag medyo minamalas-malas ka pa, inabuso pa yung minor de edad mong dote.
Yeah.
Okay? Hindi acceptable sa amin yon. Nung una, Hans, pag may utos galing sa taas, Commander-in-Chief, President Marcos Sr., we followed without looking back. Sabi naman, tama ito. But pretty soon, parang erratic na.
Naka-cloud na.
Parang bakit ganito ang utos? So we thought that the problem was not at our level, but at higher levels. So, siyempre, ang tanong palagi, ang gagawin natin? Yeah. Since ang problema sa itaas, ako naman, can I use certain vocabulary in your show?
Of course.
Ako naman si Gago, sabi ko
wala tayong censorship dito, Sen. It's YouTube.
Usap kami nung core members ng reform movement. Sabi ko, dilusubin natin yung Malacanang because the problem is at policy level.
Yes.
Not to harm the president and the family. I'm putting this on record and I'm happy you gave me this opportunity.
Of course, yes.
So punta kami ron, lusog kami, control the situation, protect them from the mob. Pag nauna yung mob, Hans, obviously,
kailangan mauna kayo.
It happens in other cultures. Pag nauna yung mob dun sa mga dictator,
It happened to Gaddafi.
summary
Perfect,
ang
yes.
execution.
Yes,
Walang due
yes.
process dyan.
Yes.
Can you imagine how romantic, how naive, how idealistic we were, no? Lusob kami, I'll describe to you the numbers, no? Lusob kami, control the situation, siyempre lalaban, no? But we did our homework also. And then turn around, protect them against the mob.
Against the mob.
And
Secure.
subject them to due process.
To due process, yes.
Subject them, no? Evidence, no? Ngayon, ito pa ang masaya. So, what did we do? Between 83 and 86, we planned the assault. So, habang
Oh
natutulog
my God, this
kayo,
is 3 years of planning?
oo. Hindi lang 3 years of planning. Wala pang flyover noon, ha?
Yeah, wala.
We were running from Aguinaldo to Bonifacio. Kuminsan, Bonifacio to
Wala
Aguinaldo.
pang BGC nun.
Wala pa yung flyover.
BGC was ano pa
okay.
yun? Talahin pa lahat yun.
Oo. Computed ko pa yung distance, 12.6 kilometers. Carrying 70 pounds of equipment. I've never trained harder in my entire life.
Oh my God.
Alam niyo, Show Boulevard, di ba?
Papayat
Saka
ka nun,
EDSA.
hotdog.
Papayat. That's the perfect reducing plan, no? Anyway, crossing ng EDSA at saka Show Boulevard. Di ba puno ng beer house noon yan?
Yes.
Okay. So
Yes.
pag dumaan na kami,
Narinig ko.
camouflage, full combat gear, carrying 70 pounds of gear. Pagdaan namin, pauwi na yung mga lasing galing sa beer house. Pag nakita kami, takbuhan uli sa beer house. Akala nila.
Tapos, pag sinabi na asawa, bakit ngayon ka lang? Maraming sundalo eh. Bumalik kami sa beer house.
Okay. Siguro break lang namin minsan Sunday, di ba? Tapos
So you were drilling?
yeah, we were preparing. We're running. Not only that, we did some other training also, no?
Yeah, but it didn't raise any suspicions?
Ay, hindi pa uso nun yung mga anti-terrorist. No? That's the cover story. Because I was then head of the security group of the Ministry of National Defense under Secretary Minister Juan Ponce Enrile.
Yes,
So,
okay.
natural, di ba? Anti-terrorism. Before that was in vogue.
Oh my God, isipin mo every morning makikita
Every
mo.
morning. Hindi every morning in broad daylight, ha?
Yeah. Madaling araw, wala pa.
2 o'clock to about 4 o'clock in the morning. We even had a 1-hour club running 12.6 with full combat gear in less than 1 hour. Pag umaahon na ako dyan sa may Guadalupe Bridge, yung paakyat, I discovered the meaning of life. Sabi ko, ba't ko ginagawa ito?
Oh my God.
That's how we train. And then,
So this was planned for 3 years?
yes. So, what were we up against? Ako, I was leading 30 men. 30 men muna. Tawid kami dun sa may dating Philippine Refining Company.
PRC, yes.
Yeah, okay. Tawid kami 2 rubber boats, 15-15, against 2,000 people guarding the palace. Of course, nagre-relibuhan yun. At any one time siguro, mga 500. But I knew the terrain because my father used to be commander of the Presidential Security Guards under Presidents Magsaysay and Garcia. I was swimming in the Pasig while state dinners were ongoing.
Malinis pa yung Pasig River.
Maputik na pero walang basura pa. Water lily. Naninisid kami ng tulya noon, ng clam.
Nabubuhay pang tulya doon.
May nabubuhay pa noon. Wala pa nung pollution ngayon. So we're watching state. So I knew the layout, the terrain. So 30 men against 2,000. Red Kapunan, members also of the Reform Movement. 200 people against about 5,000 guarding the other side. Di ba? Malacanang is bisected by the Pasig River.
Yes.
Okay. So, we had the element of surprise, we knew the terrain, and we had recruited some security personnel inside, which was, the plot was discovered because nakonsensya yung isang ni-recruit namin. Well, the rest is history. Pero may biroan pa kami noon, Hans. Pagtawid namin, siyempre tatamaan kami ng searchlight dahil bulgar na yung plano eh. So, ano gagawin namin noon? Sabi namin, Marcos. Bago kami marilin. No, but we resolved that dilemma early on. Sabi namin, delikado yan. Paano kung masunog yung plano?
Yes.
Mag-leak, no? So sabi ko, well, what are we willing to put on the line for this? Ano itataya natin dito? Mabigat to, lusubin nung sundalo yung
palasyo,
ngayon, okay.
yeah.
How many professional soldiers, which we felt we were, are given the opportunity to choose the time and the place and the circumstances where you die or you do what is necessary. So may biroan kami nun. Pagtawid namin, pagtama ng search site, siyempre, halt, who goes there? Sasabihin namin, Marcos kami. Before they shoot us.
Will they shoot?
I suppose they will. That's how I would do it. Any threat. any unidentified intrusion into the perimeter of the palace. I saw that during the time of my father. I saw at least 3 presidents in pajamas when he was inspecting the guards.
Oh my gosh. So, the assault actually happened in 86.
That was the plan.
The plan, no?
Since
Nabulgar.
nag-shift kami ng gears, no? So, people power, we provided the armed component for our people in the streets. Dahil, di ba, in a situation where it's polarized, no? Nahahati na, ayaw mo na sa nangyayari, sa status quo. For good government, ano naman ang kalaban-laban ng tao? Civilians yun. So, this was the breakaway. No, a component of the armed forces broke away from the chain of command and provided the armed component.
But what was interesting about the revolution was the heads of the military were the ones that led. Or was
it's not that accurate. We were
ito yung magandang pinag-uusapan kasi nalalaman natin yung totoo.
I'm not saying this for your benefit, no?
Of course.
Bihira yung nagtatanong, mga tinatanong mo, because everything was written and color-coded. And alam mo na, history is written by the victors.
Of course.
So may distortion. You never hear this from, you never read about it. So I'm putting it on record. This is my version. If they question it, ang sasabihin ko lang, may pictures ka ba? Pati nga
andun ba kayo?
Oh, baka bata pa kayo nun. Di ba?
Yeah.
Parang gano'n, no? So, yeah. So, it's important to put this in perspective, no? But, so it was for good government. It was not against former President Marcos, no? But the alternative naman was clear. Because after what happened politically, the husband of former President Cory Aquino was assassinated in the tarmac. So we had a polarized. There was an alternative.
There was an alternative,
occupying some high moral ground.
But so, nung 86 revolution, kasi naaalala ko lang nun.
Hindi, sorry, no? You were asking about our superiors.
Yes.
Nilapitan namin. I'm not mentioning any names.
Of course.
Sabi namin, parang yung napanood mo ba yung Braveheart?
Yes.
Yeah. Sabi ni Wallace, kay Bruce. Sabi niya,
kasi yung mga commoners, ayaw
sabi niya, Robert Bruce, you lead us.
Yes.
Unite us. And I, Wallace, will follow you.
Yes.
Ganun ang sinabi namin dito sa mga general noon. Okay? Sabi namin, sir, kayo senior na, you lead us. Diba? The situation is morally untenable. Sila, Hans, iwas pusoy. Hindi pwede yan. That's a kudeta. So yung center of gravity bumaba and stopped with me. Because I was a full colonel then. So, ang choice ko is, do I accept or point again downwards? So, the center of gravity shifted from the upper chain of command to captains and majors and lieutenants and sergeants. That's why I was thrust into the limelight and lost my anonymity. How did that happen? People power. Nakatayo si JPE, Secretary at si Butch Aquino sa bubong ng Piera. Hawak ko sa sinturera, baka malaglag eh. Yeah, that's not good for the 6 o'clock news. Ay, akalain mong si Secretary Enrile, hinawakan ako sa kwelyo, nanon ako sa likod, patago-tago ako. Yeah? Hinawakan ko sa likod. Sa mic, sabi niya, alam niyo ba kung sino yung mga batang sundalo na sumama sa People Power? Ginanon yung mukha ko. And a gazillion flash bulbs pop. The following day, I was in almost every front page and headline. Ito. So, I lost my anonymity. I could not watch movies anymore with my family. Worst day of my life. One of the worst days of my life.
Kasalanan pala ni boss. Si Manong.
Yeah.
Who until today is extremely
101 years old. Oh, hey, can you imagine the service to the country, his institutional memory, no? I think government should tap into his experience, his competence.
He has more memories than younger people eh. Yung younger people, utusan mo ngayon, mamaya, ha? Hindi ka, sinabi niya ba yun, sir? Di ba? Iba.
Yes.
But so you were thrusted into the limelight.
Yes, I didn't
And
ask
then
for it.
we had a change in government,
Yes.
and then there were several attempts
Yes.
after that.
I'm glad you call them attempts. Ang tawag doon nila, coup attempt. In fact, 7 to 9 coup attempts lang ang nilahukan ko. Alam mo Hans, abunado naman ako, no? I participated in 86, 87, and 89. And I have the amnesty diploma.
The certificate.
Certificate to prove that. So, kung 7, abunado ako sa 4. Kung 9, abunado ako sa 6. Saan naman ako kukuha ang pang-abuno ron? I'm just putting this on record.
Yeah.
And they call them coup attempts. Di ba ang coup attempts by definition is a power grab?
It's a power grab, yeah.
86. If you're on the receiving end, di ba, ang tawag mo coup. If you're a beneficiary, ang tawag mo uprising, people power. There's a different vocabulary.
Perspective eh.
Perspective at saka selective. Doon ako medyo mabigat ng kalooban ko, no? Selective. Coup attempts.
You're vilified kasi. That's the sad part.
Yes. But I'm glad I'm given this opportunity to put it in perspective. It was an uprising.
Yes.
It was a break, but not a coup attempt. Kung coup attempt, after that, nasa amin yung armas. The
Yes.
new armed forces was formed in Kramen Aguinaldo. Ano ba naman yung, mag-take out kayo.
It was...
Dito yung armed forces.
Yes.
Maghanap kayo ng utusan ninyong to maintain order. Because the first responsibility of any government is order. Saan kayo kukuha ng armed forces? Pero nung sila na ang target, dahil nothing changed, we missed another opportunity, ang tawag na coup attempt, and they started writing about it. I'm just putting that on record.
So that's what I've always questioned. It's they call it, if you look at coups in different countries, automatic yan. Pag nagkaroon ng coup d'etat, ang tatay yung gobyerno is the military.
Yeah.
Hindi, nagka-election tayo eh.
Now, that's an important point again. If you look back, historically, Hans, we've been doing the same thing economically, politically, in terms of security. Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result.
It's
May tawag
called,
dyan.
it's called insanity.
Yes, okay. What did we do after 86? Okay. What did we do? Freedom Constitution, Revolutionary
Ayoko na
Government.
magsalita eh, kaya ako nababas eh.
What did we do? We conducted elections. The same elections, basically, that will happen this coming May.
Yes.
Okay. And are we expecting... No, I'm not
A
bashing
different
the
result.
system.
Hindi, ako nababas. Pag nagsalita ako tungkol dyan. Kasi
ngayon, Hans,
tama ka eh.
you have a scapegoat. Sabi mo, ito ang sabi ni Honasan. Diba? Yan. At kandidato siya. No, I think the problem is institutional damage. Marami tayong mga institution na nasira. The problem is systemic. Kahit na sino ilagay, electing good people, may kakayahan, may karanasan, may capacity, no, for public service will help. But it will not solve the problem by itself.
May kasabihan nga yung mga friends ko eh. If you want to go to jail or you want to be sued or you want to be criminalized,
you speak
run
up.
for president.
Yeah.
Kasi automatic yan eh. Kakasuhan ka pag umalis ka sa, wala ka sa pwesto eh.
Yet at the
Or
same
run for office.
Yes. Yet at the same time, to my mind, from my own limited experience, the Philippine presidency is one of the most powerful presidencies among the remaining presidential democracies. Sinabi ko yan, I served under President Duterte, no?
Yes.
As cabinet member. Sabi ko sa kanya, during a break in cabinet meeting, sabi ko, Sir, di ba? I was thinking of other things like maybe a revolutionary government, no? Sabi ko, Sir, why do you want to do that? You have a supermajority in the Senate and in
House.
Congress. You are appointing 10 Supreme Court justices. So, covered mo yung legislative. You are appointing 10 Supreme Court judiciary. You have, as commander-in-chief, you have command and control over
Military.
3 legally authorized armed groups. Di ba? What else do you need? 6 years lang kayo. You're not in this for the surveys or popularity.
Yes.
Ano pa kailangan nyo to make a difference? So, nag-isip-isip siya. And to his credit, he
He did
refrained.
what's supposed to do.
Yeah.
What was supposed to be done.
Oo. Pero, Hans, di ba, kung tuwing maubusan tayo ng pasensya, like what happened when the build-up was so strong in 86, no? every time we lose our national impatience, no? And the people get together with their army, something happens. But is that the route we want to take? Sabi ko, di ba, ang gawin natin, pag may issue, isara na natin yung mga korte. Baka makatipid pa tayo. Okay?
Tama.
Tapos, tuwing may issue, kahit na ano, criminal, administrative, civil, ipon tayo sa MOA o sa Luneta. Yung interesado Tapos head count. Ito ang issue. For, raise your hands. Against, raise your hands.
Impromptu.
Ganun. Di ba? Baka mas mabilis.
It's the most, I would say, it's the most purest form. Kasi walang malalagyan, walang hatak, di ba? Wala.
Basta punta ka roon pag interesado ka. Pag hindi ka pumunta, ibig sabihin wala kang pakialam.
Wala kang karapatan.
Hindi bibilangin yung boto mo.
Yes, wala kang karapatan.
That's an option. Or every time, di ba? May magsulsol sa military. Uprising na naman. Pag-aalsa. Is that the route we want to take? What will the foreign investors, and you are more competent to look at this more objectively, no? What will foreign investors and our local businessmen think? Di ba? Tawag nyo sa inyo, democracy, banana republic kayo. Di ba? So that's my point, institutional damage.
That's been, yan ang nangyayari, Sene, is we elect somebody in office, and then after a couple of years, we want them out.
Yeah.
Every single time. Every time.
Yes. Parang kwan. I'm just using this, I don't know if it's the appropriate analogy. Parang being married. Talking about a divorce law. Okay? Every time, oops!
Every time nagkamali ka.
Oops.
Yeah.
Now, let it be data-driven and science-based.
Yes.
How many men, I'm just using this, how many men and women come together, live under the same roof, and have children? No church wedding or civil ceremony to bind them. What are you going to divorce? Is that the route? Every time we make a mistake, we say, oops.
Hindi pwede.
What happens
Somebody has to stand up and say.
What happens to our predictability? That's one major cause of instability. The unpredictability of policy, lack of continuity. Why? New president, new medium term something. New mayor, new governor, new set of senators, no? So, paano yung continuity? Why? Every 3 years we have elections. Ride an airplane.
Yeah,
Ride an airplane. Before crossing altitude. Tingnan mo yung kalsada. Diretso muna, di ba, Hans? Natalo yung mayor, kanan. Nanalo ulit yung mayor, tuloy-tuloy. Pag natalo, kakaliwa. Spite of all this, at policy level, from where I sit, according to our financial managers, our economy, all we need to do as a people is to wake up every morning and continue breathing. Our economy is moving from 6 to 8%. Okay?
Which is not bad.
Okay. At policy level, the challenge for all of us, especially government, is to make sure that the trickle-down effect is felt by our people who are eating from garbage cans.
To the poorest, yes.
Which brings us to the issue of inclusive growth. That's the challenge. If you're serious about nation building, di ba? Bakit unahin mo lang kung saan maraming boto, di ba? Kung saan kakikita, di unahin mo yung... share this with you. Okay lang?
Go, please,
sure.
please.
Okay. We went to Palawan. I'm saying this, putting this on record. Alam mo ba yung mayor sa Kalayaan, that's our front line sa West Philippine Sea, is holding office in Puerto Princesa with his municipal council. Why? Sabi ko, Mayor, bakit? Sir naman, yung bangka namin wooden hull. Kung magbiyahe kami, lumubog kami, di wipe out yung local government. Sabi ko, bakit? Hindi ba kayo nag-request ng maayos na sakyan? Speedboat, something. Steel hull. Sabi, Sir, matagal na, ilang taon na. Sabi ko, teka muna, analyze. Bakit? Sabi ko, ilan ba boto sa inyo? Sir, 800. Kaya pala. Ba't kayo papansinin ang layo ninyo, 800 lang boto nyo. Yeah. So, I'm just putting this on record, Hans, to describe to us what's happening across the country. Pag malapit ka sa kusina. Sa syudad. Now, looking back, it may be historical. Di ba? Baka sinadya ito ng mga colonizer natin. archipelago of 7,100 islands. Concentrate power, economic and political power in Imperial Manila. Para yung mga galing sa Mindanao pipila. Then you can selectively dispense the help to an underpopulated. Ito ngayon ang resulta sa atin. Pag malayo ka, biyahe ka, pila ka, pagharap mo dun sa desk, tatanungin ka pa, sino ba binoto mo nung huling eleksyon? Boss, kalaban mo Ay, doon ka muna. Di
ba na-zero ako doon? Parang ganun di ba?
No, these are, I'm not implying anything.
Of course, yes.
I'm saying that this might be...
And it's facts.
Facts.
Kasi hindi natutulungan
Now, if I'm wrong, and I'm, giving the policymakers bad news, ang gusto mong gawin ng iba, kill the messenger Why don't they listen first? Baka naman may something.
Every conflict can be sorted out with discussion, with civilized discussion, no? One thing I wanted to ask, Sen, is you became a senator. How was your experience those 6 years in office? Kasi senator ka muna and then DICT, right?
21 years akong senator.
20?
Yes.
3 terms?
6-3, 6-6. Dahil I was number 13,
Oh my God.
There was a vacancy. So 21 years. And I ran for vice president. Then I ran for senator again in last presidential election. So 7 national elections.
So you were in
the Senate.
21
years. But I thought kasi being a senator was, working, making laws. Nung 10th Congress, katabi ko sa kanan si the late Senator Raul Roco, who could have been the first Bicolano president. Sa kaliwa ko si Senator June Magsaysay. 2 wonderful people, statesmen, itong dalawa. Sabi sa akin ni Senator Roco, alam mo Greg, hindi tayo linagay ng tao rito dahil ako dating abogado, ikaw dating sundalo, si Manong June mo dating negosyante. Linagay tayo rito para bumoto. Pag bumoto ka at nanalo yung boto mo, kasama ka sa majority vote, which moves things.
Which moves the laws. Yes.
Some people, down the line, baka hindi pa natin mababalitaan, will suffer. Yung iba giginhawa. In fact, in extreme cases, some will die. Some will live. Can you imagine yung epekto ng boto mo? Kaya mag-aral tayo rito. Hindi ka pang 6 o'clock news. Kahit na, di ba? Akala ko noon, ganun ang trabaho.
Hindi pang sayaw-sayaw.
Yan, So, sabi ko, mag-aral ka. Pray hard. Ask for your best lights para pag boto mo, how many in favor, taas ka ng kamay, recorded yun Some people will suffer. Lives will be affected. Lives of a nation, And when di ba? Section 3, the lawyers told me this, Section 3 o Article 3, Section 1, protect life, liberty, and property. Life. When one life is invoked, one life nakataya rito, tabi na lahat. Lalo na kung one life of a barangay, of an isolated province or municipality, then everything is set aside. Life That's what I learned in 21 years.
That's what boggles me, is we have a lot of people in office, and I'll say this as something that I've seen lately, being 20 years in the U.S. and learning about American politics and suddenly coming back home. It was a big cultural shock. Because we have people who are actually guiding our nation who are unqualified. Because we're talking about laws, like you said, Sen, for every vote and every decision that you make in Senate or in the House, every law that's passed, there are people who will suffer, there are people who will benefit, there are people who will even die. And there are people who will become rich. As a lawmaker of 21 years, how do you process that?
It has to be reflected in the laws I passed, I helped pass. No, by the way, no single senator, including the senator, can claim
na sila,
credit.
Yes.
Yeah, it's always the majority. It's a
Yes.
collegial body, It's a consensual body. What did I try to do? Now I realize I have the word for that, security. What did I try? Land use. Ang kakambal ng land use ay yung land use hindi ko na ipasa. Yung kumampi sa akin sa land use, yung mga kalaban ko sa politika. Yung mga tumutol, kumontra sa land use, mga kakampi ko sa politika. Okay, for obvious reasons. What is land use? Actually, it's land and water use. Ito lang ang lupa natin, no? Kasama niya yung water management, no? Ito residential, ito commercial, ito industrial, ito government center, ito
Urban
education.
planning.
May planning, long-term planning. Pag umuulan, minsan hanggang liig yung tubig, di ba? Pagkatapos na, pag tag-init, minsan pagbukas mo ng gripo,
Walang tubig.
walang lumalabas. So water use niyan, containment ang sagot yan. Pag may land and water use ka, alam mo kung saan padadaanin yung kalsada, yung release ng tren, saan mo ilalagay yung port. It gives you a sense of long-term planning. Now, the twin of that is something that we were able to pass. The National Disaster Risk Reduction Management Law. Which means, bagyo, lindol, di ba? A natural calamity is an act of God to test our resilience. Mag-ready tayo. Okay? Mag-ready tayo. Pagdaan ng bagyo, ready na tayo para ibalik sa normal yung buhay. Makapunta na uli sa eskwela yung mga anak natin, makapagtrabaho yung mga magulang. Dito, traffic. Di ba? Traffic. Yeah? Konting ulan, baha yung underpass.
Yesterday, umulan, malakas sandali. Espanya, baha na.
Ayun, baha. Okay.
It didn't rain for more than 2 hours.
So, ganun. Ha? Hindi pa bagyo yun. Ha? Hindi pa natural calamity. So, yan ang magkakama. Ba't ka maglalagay ng residential sa tabi ng ilog na tuwing uulan, babaha? Di, evacuate na naman.
Kasi mura na bili ng developer. Hindi ko naman
Diba?
sinasabi sinong developer.
Kung may malunod doon, di life na. Ba't ka maglalagay ng bahay sa paanan ng bundok na kinalbo yung mga puno? Di may mudslide. Threaten na naman yung life. Diba? Wala pa yung life and property.
Kasi si ano yung may-ari ng quarry. Ayoko na sabihin.
May malugan. Ilang bilyon ang ginagastos natin every year from national budget for flood control. Ilang bilyon. Hindi ba mas mura na i-relocate mo na lang? Land use. Ba't mo lalagyan ng bahay sa tabi ng ilog? Flood control kang flood control. Sabi mo nga, baka there's a reason.
I'll give you a perfect example, Sen. Marikina. My wife's family own property in Provident. Sabi ko sa kanya, alam niyo ba, since timely memorial, bumabaha dyan. Bakit kayo bumili ng bahay dyan? Kasi dati hindi pa ganun kabaha yung tubig. Sabi ko, hindi nyo ba alam, the more people that move, the less areas the water can flow. Kasi you have houses wala kang dadaanan. So, overdevelopment. And that's, I think, kulang na kulang sa atin is urban planning.
Lahat tayo umasa sa zoning ordinances. Hindi pwede, kailangan national ang land use.
Lumahan na yung zoning ordinances natin.
Medyo.
Tsaka pag nabigyan, okay na yun Diba? Mamayang konti. Sipin mo, dito lang sa Cubao Ang liit ng kalsada, Santolan and C. Benitez, that area. There's 12 high-rise condos there. At any given time, there's 300 cars per condo. Pag umaga, parang ang parking lot ng planta ng Toyota. I mean,
ito pa, pag nag-waste ka, di ba? Dito ka dumaan,
natataranta si Waze.
Hindi, wala sa Waze yung basketball court at yung burol.
Wala, hindi kasama yun.
Hindi kasama yun.
Hindi kasama yun. Tapos yung mukha nung kung sino man, nandun. Which begs me that question, why do you want to do this? ako ini-interview lang kita, sumasakit na yung ulo ko sa problema
Baka mapaaga ako, Hans, pag...
Huwag naman.
Hindi, sabihin, pag hindi ko ginawa
pag
ito.
hindi mo ginawa.
Dahil pag wala na ako, pareho ang problema pag hindi natin remedyohan ngayon.
Tapos nakikita mo lagi,
Hindi, yung mga anak ko at mga apo ko. Mas nagsenador pala si Lolo. Hindi na tumakbo. Sayang yung land use niya. Diba?
So hanggang ngayon, di ba pass yung land use?
Hanggang ngayon. But that's a main advocacy. But magkakabit na yan. Land use, disaster management, security, food security.
Food security.
Food security. Food security. Okay? But, sabi ko nga sa'yo, Hans, any issue, you name an issue, i-connect ko para sa'yo.
Security.
Yeah? To food, clothing, shelter, health, education, and data. Any issue. West Philippine Sea. Atin yan. Geographically, historically, legally, sa atin yan. kung hindi natin kayang protektahan yung mga mangingisda, fishermen natin, who fish in what is ours to feed their families so that their families can survive and live, food. Traffic, productive man hours loss. Kung masisante yung laborer na late dahil sa traffic, sino papakain ng pamilya nila?
Tama.
Okay? The World Health Organization, ito mga problemang nalalaman natin ngayon, is telling us that 100 Filipino children, our next generation of citizens and leaders, die every day. Isipin mo, every day, 100 na batang Pilipino between the ages of 0 to 6 namamatay from malnutrition or malnutrition-related causes. So we may be raising a generation of stunted Filipinos. Kung isa dyan maging senador, ito mo nangyari sa akin.
Grabe.
So these are things that you should. Now, connect the dots na. Breastfeeding, kung malnourished yung nanay, dahil yung tatay, jeepney driver o laborer, nasisante dahil sa traffic, food, malnutrition.
Or hindi ma-afford yung modernization.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, ganun. Kabit-kabit yan.
Speaking of food security, guys, hindi tayo magiging secure pag hindi tayo kumain. So we'll take a break for a little bit and we will be back shortly. This is King Panda TV with Senator Greg Honasan. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back, King Panda TV, and we would like to thank our sponsors, Janbi's Pancit Pares and Silog Meals. They're located in Tondo, Manila, for sponsoring this interview, this King Panda Talks with Senator Honasan. Para sa masarap na pancit at pares, silog meals, go to Janbi's in Tondo. They've been there since 2000, and the dad, yung dad ni Jake, is actually the cook at long-time cook ng Lingnam sa Green Hills. Yan ang Lingnam dati, but now, naging Janbi's. Guys, look at this. They have one of the best pancit. So please visit them. We will flash their address and social media pages on this episode. So please support them. Go to their page. Pag hindi kayo bumili, wala na kami sponsor susunod. Thanks, guys. So, Senator,
Opo.
please, enjoy.
Okay, thank you.
So, we were talking kanina about the issue of, food security, And merong study na actually meron lumabas na anong department ba yun? NEDA ata or na for 56 pesos a day daw, hindi ka raw mamamatay sa gutom. Pag tinignan mo sa social media, ang dami nagreklamo. Kasi daw hindi masarap. So, ang point doon is, when the government actually does studies like this, it's for minimum sustenance. No, is that how it's done?
Well, let's go back to the basics, Hans, no? Food security. When you're talking about rice, onions,
Staple.
staple, okay. Is it a supply problem or a distribution problem? Kung supply problem, bakit nabubulok ang palay sa mga bodega na hawak ng middleman? Di ba? Not imply maintain, di ba?
We're not, yeah.
Okay, so...
Boss, wala kami tinitira dito, ha? It's
wala.
just facts. Totoo.
Ngayon, imagine mo naman, Hans, if we cannot feed our own people from our own production without importing or smuggling, hindi ba tayo nagturo magtanim ng quality na bigas sa mga kapitbayan natin from Erie in Los Baños?
At one point in time, we were an exporter of rice.
Correct. Okay. Masagana 99.
Yes.
Yan. So ngayon, where are we? Now, multi-pronged ang approach sa tingin ko, no? Like, technology is one path we can take. Pag may disposable income yung farmer, what does he buy first? He does not buy basic necessities. He buys a cell phone. A cell phone, technology gives him access to market information.
Yes.
Pag alam niya kung ano ang halaga sa market, nung tinanim niya at inani na either palay o pakwan, kahit na ano pa yan, diba? Nabubura na yung middleman. Farm to market.
Farm to market.
Okay, that's one approach. Second is, we really have to... Food security now is at the level of a national security problem. subukan mo wag pakainin yung police at sundalo or government itself kung gagalaw yan. So, these are multifaceted.
And this is where dissent comes from.
Yes.
It's where it becomes
Yes.
the root.
Oh, kung hindi ito ma-manage, are we looking at the prospect of looting, uncontrolled looting? Dahil food na ang Pag gutom ang tumama, wala nang rules dyan. And it includes even the law enforcers. I'm not agitating. I'm just saying, it's about time we proactively plan. Yeah, we address this naman. No.
Now, I will ask you, Senator, do you think it's a supply or a distribution problem?
It's both. The data is telling us that it's both. Diba? Like, go to the Visayas. There's an area there which is the seafood capital of the Philippines. It's also the geographic center. It does not have a packaging and a processing plant. So, but peculiar, yung pangangailangan, it's also a mapping problem. Ang history kasi natin sa baseline data management needs a little improvement. For us to intervene, dapat data-driven. How do you accelerate the intervention and do it more precisely? Technology. Technology is connectivity. Di ba? Hindi lang ito kalsada at tulay, kundi towers, cables, satellite. Pag may bagyo, may natural calamity, any situation that will give you an idea of what's happening nationwide. Di ba? Ang tanong palagi is, meron ba diyang kuryente? Wrong question. I think the question should be, may contact na tayo sa kanila para malaman natin sino walang kuryente.
Ano nangyayari?
Anong nangyayari? It's not only quantitative but qualitative. Anong barangay ang isolated na may danger
Ilan
na
na namatay, ilan ang nangangailangan ng medical help.
At pag tubig at pagkain ang pinag-usapan, hindi pwedeng paghintayin yan. Di ba? Pwede mo sabihin na next week na. There's another dimension I would like to introduce, Hans, no? Which is our sense of national priorities. Kahit yung pinakamayaman na bansa, yung budget kulang talaga yan. So, ito lang ang budget, ito lang ang pera, ito lang ang resources. Ano ang uunahin natin? So, fully circle na tayo. Inclusive growth. Emergency na yan. Sa development. Pag inclusive growth, whether nagugutom o hindi o isolated, unahin mo yung pinakamaliit, pinakamalayo at pinakamahirap.
Hindi ba totoo, Sen, you being in government for this time, ang idea of a perfect budget is zero.
Zero budget, di ba?
Zero, hindi surplus, hindi deficit. Zero. That's the most efficient, di ba?
That's also ideal.
The most ideal. But it never happens.
Never happens because we keep on telling about line item. Walang mga lump sum. Have we done that? Di ba? Bakit? Nandun sa lump sum nakatago yung mga ibang priorities, di ba? In fact, the budget, that's why it's called the General Appropriations Act. It's a law. Should be transparent. That's taxpayers' money or loans yan ang galing, di ba? Ba't mo tinatago dun sa mga ano? Hindi tayo nang gagatong dito.
No.
The budget has been weaponized. The General Appropriations Act has been weaponized very, very selectively. Which brings us, the justice system, from my own painful personal experience, has been weaponized. Pagkakampi ka, magaan sa'yo. Pagkalaban ka, kahit na nahagingan ka lang, o kaya wala ka talagang kamalay-malay, didiinan ka. Our justice system is the last bastion. Kung mahirap ka, wala kang pang-abogado, di ba? No. Saan ka tatakbo? These are interconnected.
I mean, even negosyantes nowadays, pag diniin ka, is it worth fighting for? Di ba?
Yeah. And
so, you just...
Di ba, Hans, pag negosyante ka, time. You're managing two critical variables, time and information. Pag dinelay ka, di ba, you move the decimal point, left or right.
Yes.
That spells the difference between
very quickly.
Bankruptcy.
Yeah, bankruptcy and...
It happens in seconds.
Yeah.
So, these are the things that we have to consider. So, again, ano gagawin natin? Di ba? So,
and in your time in DICT, after your stint of 21 years in the Senate, what was your experience with DICT?
okay. first of all, I'm not techie eh. I'm just a manager, former soldier, former rebel. No? I was recommending the OIC to be permanent. Sabi ni Presidente noon, anong recommend? Yung magtatapos na yung term niya, Senado, siya. So sabi ko, so what do I do? O, ito ang mission mo connectivity. Connect government to other governments.
Yes.
Domestic and global.
Para mabilis ang ikot.
Okay, connect government to business for productivity. Connect government to the citizens and everybody to each other. Do this faster, cheaper, if not free. Yun ang mission statement ko. So what did I do in 2.5 years? 800% improvement in broadband speed. Pre-Wi-Fi, 500%. Kinulang na ako sa oras dahil ni-recruit ako sa Uniteam. Of course, Uniteam is another interesting story. What's Honasan doing with the Uniteam of Marcos? Eh sabi ko, hindi naman ako nag-apply. Kinuha ko para showcase Unity. Di ba? Tsaka, okay, Unity. Yung ayaw sa Unity, raise your hands. Wala naman nagtaas ng kamay. But, again, Hans, di ba? Look what's happening to the Uniteam. Yung mag-running mate, I'm not implying,
Yes, it's what's happening eh.
Yeah, I mean, that's
We don't
fact.
have, yeah, we don't,
This is not perception. This is not political. What happened? What's happening to the Uniteam? Ako naman, di ba? Unity. So, what's happening? So ngayon, I'm running. I choose to be independent. I'm not going to be pro-this or anti-this. Although I have, affiliations with both of them. Di ba? Ayokong, di ba? Down the middle. Program and platform-based. I'm not going to limit myself to, personality.
Yeah, it's not a political platform.
Yes.
It's a progressive stand on. But your stint at DICT, your 2.5 years, very short time to implement change.
Yes. Well, I wanted to add also, Hans, no? Natutuwa ako noon. I went to 3 budget hearings. I think the understanding and appreciation of government itself for ICT-driven efforts, programs, is still limited. Happy ako noon dahil pag may budget hearing, konti ang tanong. Hindi naman masyado
Hindi nila alam.
Hindi naman siya hindi nila alam. May mga hindi naintindihan. Hindi ako happy dahil hindi nila naintindihan. Hindi konti yung budget. Kulang pa nga sa isang region yung budget ng department.
Oh my gosh.
Tapos, question pa yung confidential and intelligence funds. Eh sabi ko, without, impacting on national security. Government, the office of the president was being hacked during the time.
Yes.
And other critical sectors.
Infrastructure, yeah.
We discovered the hacking. We reported it to the office of the president. Something was done about it. Now, I cannot share details.
Of course.
No? So, it's we kakapiranggot na budget, kakapiranggot na confidential and intelligence funds, di ba?
Tapos gusto nyo responsive.
Responsive, di ba? You give me power, fiscal space,
And the tools.
I'll deliver. Yet, even without that, an obscenely small budget, we delivered naman.
Were you, of course, without revealing any any classified information, sa mga briefing mo ba, I'm sure you have the opportunity to talk to NICA, NSA, and all these places, And I'm sure foreign, were there eye-opening moments na biglang nagpadala sa'yo ng dossier yung kapag ganun ka?
Araw-araw.
Shit!
Hans, hindi araw-araw ang threat sa atin, ha? Hindi oras-oras. Hindi minute by minute. Second by second, under attack tayo.
Oh
okay?
my Lord.
So, di ba?
We're talking about critical infrastructure of the government.
Yes, okay. So, again, di ba? Why? At ano gagawin natin, di ba? Pag medyo duda ka, huwag ka muna mag-click. Di ba? Ang laban sa high-tech, mag-low-tech ka. Mas madaling i-confirm. Di ba? So, what is the solution? Part of it is digital education. Pag duda ka, huwag ka mag-click.
Guys, ibalik nyo yung Nokia 3120 nyo.
Ito ang pamporma kong telepono.
iPhone. For the record, naka-iPhone si Sen. Pero,
Pero, for talk and text, ito.
pero colored na yung screen, di ba? Colored screen
Pero
na.
pag talk and text,
Pero mag snake ito. May snake. Yung laro, yung snake. Tsaka,
okay. Ang rule namin noon, na tinuro sa akin,
grabe.
is zero trust. Ito, kahit na masuhin ko sa harap mo ngayon, as long as one component can emit a signal,
Mahahak yan.
mahak ito. Yung isa, medyo mahirapan sila. Mas may footprint itong isa.
Umaandar pa ba yan, Sen?
Umaandar naman.
Okay pa pala yan?
Oh,
Akala ko hindi
lang.
lang susuport ng
Yun ang
analog.
Yun ang sa Green Hills ka pupunta for spare parts, for batteries, di ba?
Eh, sa Green Hills, kaya magbuo ng sarili telepono doon, Sen. Walang problema, kahit 10 pa eh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ngayon, ito pa. Yung apo ko, 7 years old, nung bagong iPhone ko, sabi niya, Lolo, kaya tinawag yan na touchscreen. Huwag masyado diinan. Na sisira yung wallpaper. So my 7-year-old granddaughter taught me how to operate my iPhone. Secretary of the Department of Information. Sabi ko, anak, huwag mong ipagsabi, baka tanggalin ako sa pwesto. Wala ka nang pambili ng gatas.
Wala na pa susta dyan.
Wala nang pasusta dyan.
Oo.
Pang Oreo, pang...
Hindi, pero at that time, yung sa DICT ka, so, every day yan, you get
Every day. Hindi, magugulat ka pa. Yung mga nagsasabing kaibigan natin, yun ang mga, di ba, masigasing baghak. I wonder why. So, what I'm trying to say, Hans, no, is we have this interesting habit of exposing, even in public hearings, our strengths and weaknesses as a developing country to temporary friends and adversaries. Nanonood sila, di ba, sa atin? Sasabihin, wow, ang gugulo nila. Nakapokus sila sa eleksyon.
We can exploit.
Mag-reclaim pa tayo ng artificial island sa West Philippine Sea. Okay? Sense of priority.
Nalilihis.
Nalilihis. Sayang.
You know, another question na maraming nagtatanong sa akin at maraming kaibigan natin na hanggang ngayon. Saan ba nag-umpisa yung issue ng West Philippine Sea na yan, Sen? Dahil wala naman, marami tayong kababayan na sasabi, binenta. Nung sinasabi ko sa mga kaibigan, bakit kung alam niyong binenta yan, ba't di niyo expose? Wala daw resibo. Puta naman sino?
Hindi. If we go by that logic, no? Siyempre, sinasabi yung baseline map natin.
Yeah.
Di ba? Yung 9-dash.
9-dash.
Kung ganun ang logic, yung Pacific Ocean, American territory yan. Di ba? Dapat kasama yan sa...
Tama.
Di ba? So,
Kasi pag ganun eh.
Pag ganun, okay. But there is already a ruling, an arbitral ruling. Kung may batas, sinasabi na sa atin yan, ba't ayaw sumunod? Ano gagawin natin? Yun na naman. Sabi ko, does the Philippines have an army to confront any aggressor, interested party? Sabi ko, no, the Philippines does not have an army because the Philippines is an army. Di ba? Hindi ba sila natuto sa Hapon, sa Kastila, sa Amerikano? Nasaan sila? Nasaan tayo ngayon? Senator, lulusubin ba tayo ng China? Sabi ko, hindi siguro. Alam niyo bakit? Nandito na sila eh. Tingnan mo yung puwit ng baso mo. Made in
China.
Yeah. Ang tawag dyan, asymmetric warfare. Di ba? Lahat yan. No rules. Di ba? Huwag ka nang pahuli. Kahit na mahuli ka, kung malakas ka, di member ka ng United Nations Security Council. Sino mag-i-enforce niyan? So, again and again, Hans, ano gagawin natin? Maganda tayo. Di ba? Huwag tayong umasa. Di ba? Expectation is the mother of all heartaches.
Yes.
Di ba? So, unite tayo. That's the minimum requirement.
Kung tayo nagkakagulo,
yun nga, di ba? Pro ganito, anti ganito. Bihira kong marinig yung pro-Filipino eh. Di ba? Huwag tayong umasa. Mag-ready tayo. Of course, may Ilocano, may Bicolano. That's the law of nature. Di ba? Any organism, any country, unless confronted with a formidable threat, will fight each other. So, kailangan maintindihan ng mga kabayan natin na hindi normal ang sitwasyon ngayon. Look at little Israel and little Singapore. Ang mindset nila is threaten tayo 24/7.
araw-araw.
Di ready sila. Ano ginawa ng Israel dun sa Hezbollah? Sabi ng Hezbollah, mag-downgrade tayo, cellphone to pager.
Pinasabog lahat.
Na-discover ng Israel yung supply line. So, siningitan nila ng baterya na may low
Pasabog.
volume explosive.
Yes.
In-issue yung pager sa leadership. Di ba? Isang pindot, sabog. Okay, sabi ng mga terorista, di ba? Wag na tayo mag-cellphone, wag tayo mag-pager. Mag-meeting tayo physically. Again, ang sagot sa high-tech, low-tech. Nag-meeting sa ilalim ng ospital o eskwelahan.
Patay sila lahat.
Drinon. Yun lang, may collateral. Yung mga pasyente, mga estudyante, sabog. But, war, collateral yan.
That's collateral damage.
Kaninong kasalanan yun? Ba't kayo nag-meeting sa ilalim ng ospital? Ano? Tatingin nyo, a country threatened 24/7.
It's almost like using them as human shields.
Yes. But,
And then you claim na...
again, we're not passing judgment because ideology is driven by basic needs, di ba?
Yes.
One man's terrorist is another man's freedom
Hero.
fighter.
Yes.
In fact, there's such a thing as state terrorism. Kung minsan ang nagte-terrorize sa sarili nating mga kababayan, yung gobyerno mismo. Ano yung anti-riot?
For national security.
That's the
claim.
cop-out.
That's
That's the
the claim.
claim. That's the excuse. Di ba? Ito pa. I've been on both sides of the fence, di ba? Alam mo, Hans, di ba? Hindi ko maintindihan na hanggang ngayon. Sabi ng gobyerno, ang pinaglalaban nila, yung mahirap, yung inaapi, yung nagugutom, yung victims ng social injustice. Yun yung sabi ng rebelde. Di ba? Hindi ko maintindihan, ba't sila nag-aaway? Ang nagiging biktima yung sa crossfire, yung pinaglalaban nila pareho. Anong kanyan? Hanggang ngayon, hindi ko maintindihan.
It's like one of my friends from India. Sabi niya, there's a little place between India and Pakistan called Kashmir. It's a mountaintop region that has no viable resources, has no natural, natural assets that both countries can benefit from. But yet, every election, ang sinasabi ng mga politicians from India and Pakistan, we will take over Kashmir. We will take over, and for the past 150 years, yun lagi. Hanggang ngayon, yung Kashmir, nandun pa rin. So it has become a political platform.
Yes.
But yun ang nangyayari dito sa atin. Tuwing eleksyon, ang focus, mahirap, kahirapan, pagandahin ang buhay. Hindi naman gumaganda buhay.
Hindi. At yung nagsasalita, naniniwala doon sa sinasabi niya.
Siyempre, kasi kailangan. Kailangan sila.
Yet, if you look at it, no, what is our main asset? Global, domestic affairs. Our geography. I discovered that during my 2.5 years sa DICT. No? I looked at the map, Hans. No? We can be the digital hub, the political hub, the cultural hub, the economic hub, no? The security hub, not only of the Pacific area, but of the world. Yung nahihirapan sa ibang bansa, dapat sa atin pumunta.
Yes.
Kung mas predictable tayo, healthy ang environment dito eh. Kaya lang tinitingnan nila, parang magulo, unpredictable. So, sino ang tataya sa atin in the long term? Ha? Sayang. And I am sure, we are being used, as we speak, as a laboratory for low-intensity games that the superpowers want to play.
So, ginagawa lang tayong
Parang
board.
Board, di ba?
Chessboard.
Chessboard, di ba? Oh, ginagawa tayo, di ba? Ngayon, Lee Kuan Yew said, Taiwan, which is located in our general geographic location, to China is a core issue. Ilalaban nila ng patayan. No? But to the US, it's a peripheral issue. Ang tanong, is the Philippines to China a core issue or a peripheral issue? To the US, core issue. Frontline tayo. Hindi natin alam yun. So, ang gagawin natin, mag-ready tayo.
And they will never tell you.
They will not tell you.
Yeah.
Well, eto pa. You're talking about the US elections, no? How did a country with this history, no? Very strong institutions, elect this person. I'm not passing judgment on the
Yes, yes.
wisdom. Sabi na, baka natuto sa Pilipinas. Di ba?
Lahat ginawa na natin eh. Subukan natin ito ulit.
Oh, yeah. Ito naman, di ba? Baka natuto. Baka natuto. Instead of the other way around, di ba? Ngayon, nanguhula tayo. Ano gagawin? Mass deportation, etc., etc. No? So baka sinusubukan natin basahin ano gagawin ng administrasyon. Di ba may dichotomy sa US?
Yes.
The US government, because of its federal system, will proceed with its foreign policy. Whoever is president.
Tuloy yan.
Tuloy yan. Wala
Yeah.
yan. Oh.
That's why they have USAID.
USAID.
Which is,
Yeah.
we don't know who's running, but
Pero
I'm sure you know.
ako naman, I'm confident that we'll not only survive, but anyway, somebody, and they allowed me naman to share this They went to simulations. Di ba? Out of
If there was to be a war,
Exactly.
Simulation.
Yeah,
Okay.
simulation. Okay.
kung magka-World War III, guys, yan yun.
Alam mo ba ang sabi nung 5 out of 7 simulations nila? I'm not knowing, I'm sharing this accurate, no? Sa 5, tayo ang aggressor. Oh, hindi. Sabi ko, exactly the same reaction. Sabi ko, are you joking? Sabi ko, give me something to chew on. Indicators. Sabi niya, Senator, hulaan mo sa US kung anong gang ang kinatatakutan ng
Sa
lahat.
tanas.
Exactly.
Sa tanas gang.
Satanas.
Yes.
Gagalawin nila, harasin nila yung iba-ibang nasyon. Huwag ka magkamaling harasin yung Satanas.
Although they've aged.
No, whatever.
Yeah, pero ganun pa rin. Yes.
So sabi ko, gang pa lang yan in their home turf. Can you imagine the latitude we have if you transpose Satanas to an international stage? So,
And they do have lawyers in Satanas gang. Ha?
Ay,
They have lawyers.
wala yan.
Yeah,
Mga Hells
yes.
Angels, wala yan.
Yes,
Wala
yes.
yan. Di ba? Nakakatuwa, di ba? Nakakatuwa. Interesting. Kita mo? Same. Mahirap talaga itong Bosconia nag-uusap, ano?
So we are capable.
The simulation, science-based.
And this is not a simulation based on... This is an international
Hindi
simulation.
ito buladas, hindi ito
Oh,
script
yes.
ng sine. Sinasabi nila na yun. 7 simulations, 5 was indicating, we were the aggressor. Tayo ang mag-i-invade. Ito pa, sinagdag ko. So we are so blessed. Wake up every morning, the economy moving, no? Kaya lang sabi siguro ni God, baka magselos yung ibang bansa. Sa Pilipinas, masyado kayong blessed, pinagpala. So, what I will do is put you in the ring of fire.
Puro vulkan.
Puro vulkan.
Ah.
You will be number 1 in the World Risk Index. Kasama nyo dyan yung India at Indonesia. Pag may bagyo galing sa Pacific, Pilipinas ang welcoming committee.
Parang,
You know? Ganon. Sabi niya, just to even it out. Diba?
so you cannot, you cannot have everything.
You cannot, yet, archipelago tayo.
Yeah.
Any threat, domestic or global, no? To threaten us seriously, you have to cross bodies of water, including COVID. Diba? Can you imagine how... So, we're not counting our blessings. We have an interesting sense of priorities. We're focusing too much on
Little things.
the little things. Little things like elections. Of course, I'm running.
Yeah.
Diba? Instead of focusing on the real problems, which are food, clothing, shelter, health, education, information. No, at the same time, be sure to protect life, liberty, and property.
And that's-
yan pa. Protect life, liberty, and property. May mga alam mo, kabayan natin, life, liberty, and property. Anong silbi ng life, liberty, and property kung hindi ka happy? So, borrow from US tradition, pursuit of happiness.
Pursuit of
You will have life, liberty, and property, but you must be happy.
Kasi tama actually, if there's one thing na, our current president said na talagang pinaniwalaan ko, sabi niya, if you take care of the livelihood of every Filipino,
Yeah.
uli silang magkakagulo.
Oh,
Wala silang issue sa buhay.
wala silang dahilan. Ba't ba humahawak ng armas yung iba?
Walang makain.
Baka ginutom mo. Di ba? Baka inapin mo. Di ba? Baka, di ba? Hindi mapag-aral yung mga anak. So, what happens to upward social mobility? Magkakasakit. Ang pambili mo lang ng antibiotic for 3 days. Hindi ba antibiotic? That's
7
1
days.
week. 7 days to 10 days. Di ba? Wa-effect. Di ba? Kung 3 days ka lang.
And what's sad is if you shortchange the antibiotics, and it comes back.
Yeah.
It's worse.
Yeah. Yeah. Plus the malnutrition
Malnutrition
problem.
problem.
Di ba? Patong-patong na yun, no?
Oh, Sen, with all these problems that we have to face, I really hope na ma-address lahat yan, but hindi ko maintindihan bakit ka pumasok. Naghahanap ng sakit ng ulo si Sen.
Hindi, naghanap. May pagkamasokista ako ng
Masokista, I think that's a Bosconian trait.
Yeah, that's in my record. But,
Parang tayo.
well, my reply to that, Hans, no? Sa mga kababayan natin is, you cannot share, you cannot give what you do not have. How can I possibly stand in front of the Filipino electorate if my own family and my own close friends, that may be including you, will not vote for me?
Yeah.
Di ba? Pag may alam kayo na may problema ako sa backyard ko, okay? So, how can I stand and on high moral ground?
Yes.
So, I cannot give and share what I do not have. So, my prayer, my request, no, to maybe indirectly answer yung sa mo, bakit mo gustong bumalik? Yun na yung problema. Well, we have to do this together. I'm not inclined to look for another country. Nakakausap ko naman yung mga balikbayan, mga kamag-anak, no? Sabi na, pinsan, hindi maganda ang sitwasyon doon. Di ba? To buy a house will require wiping out your life savings. Di ba? At may kasabihan doon ngayon yung mga anak nila, mom and dad bank.
Yeah, sa US.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Di ba?
Hirap sila lang.
Oh, hirap. So, ba't ka pupunta ron? Di ba? Paglabas mo ng bakuran mo, hindi mo kakilala yung kapitbahay mo sa kanan o sa kanan. Dito, paglabas mo, barkada na.
Tsaka, Sen, kahit na, I lived there for 20 years,
Yeah.
kahit sabihin mong you're one of them and America was
Yeah.
built by immigrants,
Yeah.
meron pa rin ang tingin nila sa atin, iba pa rin. Pag hindi ka kabaro. Parang gano'n
Yes,
ba?
I can understand.
You know, hindi ka mukha dito sa atin. Mahirap talikuran sariling bansa eh.
Ay, oo. Oo naman.
Diba?
Yes, yes. And our children are better than us. No? They're better prepared. Access to information, technology. Yun lang, multitasking. No? But, again, I remember an example. No? The South Koreans, I don't know if this is true. I never bothered to verify. No? High-tech. Nainggit tayo. Walang blind spot. Di ba? Mura ang signal, etc. Ganun, no? But they built 400 rehab centers for young
Wow.
Koreans who became addicted to likes. Pag nag-post at konti ang nag-like, tumatalon sa building.
Seryoso?
That's what I'm told.
It's actually a problem in Korea.
Yeah, okay. Now, Japan.
Masobran sila sa social media.
Hindi. Japan. Graying syndrome. Too many
Older.
old people and very young people supported by a shrinking
Middle-aged. Yeah.
di ba? So
Yeah.
productivity is affected, no?
Yes.
So these are the things that we have to consider and start counting our blessings.
Our blessings.
Yeah. So
Tayo, we're overly populated. We just have to educate.
yeah, population nga every 30 years doubles eh.
Yeah.
Sabi kong ito. During the time President Marcos Senior, the Japanese aid agencies came and said, okay, we're going to help you. What do you want? The Pan-Philippine Highway or a railroad? Guess what we chose? The Pan-Philippine Highway.
Yeah.
Why? Oh, that's your choice. So, baka may iba kayo inisip. They knew that down the road, they would need markets for Toyota and Honda. Instead of a railroad, which to my mind should have been
the
mass
approach,
transit, cheaper to transport goods and services, no, and people. Ito, Bicol. Both my parents are from Bicol. Yung South Road, when I was small, may Bicol Express. I used to drive 10 hours. Nandun ako sa hometown namin, no? Ngayon, 15 hours. So, bako-bako na yung kalsada, dilapidated yung Bicol Express. Why? Because no Bicolano has ever been elected to be President of the Philippines.
True.
Yeah,
True.
yeah.
True.
So, yeah. But Bicol, di ba? Ito, energy. One of the most expensive source of energy.
Yes.
Bicol, geothermal. So I ask, bakit ang mahal ng bayad ng mga Bicolano for
May
electricity?
geothermal plant doon.
May geothermal, tiwi. Di ba? Bakit? Ang sagot sa akin, I used to be chairman of the Senate Committee on Energy, no? Sabi niya, Senator, transfer price. So, yung energy, ibabato mo muna dun sa
National Grid.
National Grid, ibabalik sa'yo, may patong na.
Kuryente mo yun eh.
Yun nga. Ba't ko papadala sa'yo? So, may konting kwan.
So you're telling me na even if the geothermal plant is geographically located in the
Bicol,
probinsya, they cannot utilize it as a...
Yeah, direct. Hindi, wala. So, ibig sabihin, mukhang sinadya na naman.
Is this in the law? Talagang nasa law yan?
Well, I don't know. Our energy development laws expired during the time of a previous administration, the Marcos Energy Development Program. So, we were relegated to power barges. Ito pa, it becomes more interesting. GMA, si President Gloria, may tinatawag, Hans, na JMSU, Joint Marine Seismic Undertaking. Pilipinas, China, Vietnam. Sabi ng China, okay, wala kayong technology, pahiramin namin kayo. Wala kayong pera, pahiramin namin kayo. Yung hatian, procedural. At itong, meron kayong natural gas at langis. Hindi sa completed area. Wala yan sa West Philippine Sea. Nasa dulo ng Palawan. Service Contract 63. I used to be chairman of energy also eh. Yan. Pahiramin namin kayo. Yung hatian, bahala na. After GMA, wala na.
Sa kanila na.
Hindi. Wala. It was not pursued. Walang continuity. Walang nagpursue dahil GMA. Iba na presidente. May bagong medium-term development.
Kung maayos naman eh.
Yun nga. Yung NBN ZTE na hiniring, na pinutol, if they push through with it, it would have faster internet, more connectivity. Mga policy, pero ang kasabihan nga, you know, we Filipinos, interesting tayo, we never miss an opportunity to miss an opportunity.
Oh my God.
Kakatuwa.
Said, this has been amazing. We have 447,000 followers in one of our pages. We have 150,000 subscribers. Oh, we just hit 150,000 on our YouTube. What's your message to these people? I would assume that most of these
young
people
people
that follow our page are younger,
Yeah.
all the way to middle age,
Yeah.
and they're in the voting age.
Yeah.
A lot of them are misinformed because a lot of things you see on social media are fake news, unfortunately.
Okay.
What
Guys,
is your message?
My message to them, guys, it's not about me, it's about you. Our children are our future. That's the paradigm. Yan ang kasabihan, no? I disagree. Our children are their own future. So to our young people, your followers, Hans, no? All we can do, our generation, is to show you by living example. By example, how to be brave, how to be dependable, how to be disciplined. So we will build your future now during our time para pag future na ninyo, presidente na kayo, senator kayo, di ba? Chairman of the board ng any corporate entity, no, public or private sector, you will be better prepared. You are our most precious, strategic, and renewable resource. You are our legacy. You are our asset, long-term asset. So my prayer, my request, my message to you is together, always together, under one flag, one nation, one people, together. Let's continue, together to dream hard, pray hard, and work hard. God bless all of you.
Guys, Senator Honasan, in the flesh, we were so humbled to have you here. So please follow his page. You've heard it at King Panda Talks. As he said, there's no such thing as pro-admin, pro-opposition, pro-this, pro-that. We have to be all pro-Filipino. That's the message. And if there's one thing that you need to take away from this show, is we're all Filipinos. So, singkit, bulag, panlad, dilaw, puti, whatever it is, we're all Filipinos. So guys, thank you very much for watching. This is, I guess we have a new format at King Panda TV, right? So And we have a sponsor. So, Jambi's Pancit. Sed, kumusta yung pancit?
Okay.
Okay
Hindi,
ba?
tatanong ko sana, Hans, ito bang nag-donate ng pansit, mayaman din to? Dahil sabi kanina, attorney, para sa mayaman tong program.
Ay, hindi. Si Kong Panda para sa mayaman.
Para sa mayaman.
Pero hindi siya ko. Si Kong Panda lang ang congressman na nanalo pero hindi tumakbo. Siya lang. Bukod tangi. So, vote Kong Panda, number 00 sa balota. Guys, thank you very much. Have a great day. Please follow our social media channels and we will see you guys again on the next episode. Thank you. Guys, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe sa King Panda TV on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. Kundi, isusumbong ko kayo sa asawa nyo na nandun kayo sa beer house kagabi. Teka, kung nakita ko sila, di nandun din ako. Ay, okay lang yun. Kaya mo na. Sige. Huwag mo na ako susumbong, ha? Subscribe na kayo. See you guys soon. Guys, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe sa King Panda TV on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. Kundi, isusumbong ko kayo sa asawa nyo na nandun kayo sa beer house kagabi. Teka, kung nakita ko sila, di nandun din ako. Ay, okay lang yun. Kaya mo na. Sige. Huwag mo na ako susumbong, ha? Subscribe na kayo. See you guys soon.